Hey everyone, Ultimate Revice is finally here. Alright, what is up, Soda Population? As always, I'm your host, President Stratos, and today we have the reveal of Kamen Rider Ultimate Revi and Vice, as well as a new silhouette for Kamen Rider Geats, and for what's to come there. I'm so excited. But before we dive into this weekend's blog, I gotta mention, hey, remember last week or 2 weeks ago when we talked about Shodo-9? It's come to my attention, mostly because I was looking for my pre-order, that I never made a pre-order. It turns out this wasn't on AmiAmi, or at least I couldn't find this on AmiAmi. This wasn't on Toku Lectables, and I saw it on HLJ as discontinued, but like, it seems like no one was finding this way, or I haven't found this wave. And this is just a general call. If you find this anywhere on those sites, let me know. Put it in the links in the description down below. Send it on over to the Soda Pop Discord, because I'm very confused. It's very strange that just this one wasn't made available. I also noticed on AmiAmi that a lot of the Shodo-O sets, the more recent ones, have been discounted. So I'm not quite sure what that means for the line. This is a very incredible companion line, and it would be sucked to lose if it is, you know, perhaps on its way out. I have no idea. I don't know if this is not popular at all with anyone. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below, because genuinely, I just want to pre-order this. I don't want to have to go through third-party bag channels. I just want to pre-order this. Anyway, that is enough about these guys. I'm sure you guys are here for this. That's right. We now have Kamen Rider Ultimate Revi and Ultimate Vice, and they look fantastic together. And a lot of that comes down to... Oh, also, we were teased about this a while ago, and they said, hey, we couldn't make this into the last wave of Revice's byline, so this will show up later. Later is now. Now is happening, and we're getting some very cool things. And one of the biggest things that delayed this figure was the clear and transparent pieces of plastic. And they came up with some really awesome solutions that they wanted to highlight in the blog that I was very impressed by. So let's just take a look at these. The first point is that, yes, they are clear plastic, and on top of the clear plastic, they have paint. They have paint, they've got stickers, they have stickers underneath. It is all so premium. This is a very premium quality look, if not for quite a bit of stickers. Here is also a look at the chest. This one also has stickers underneath that we then put the clear plastic parts over. Another thing to note about this is that this is actually molded in clear plastic, and then on top of that, they have a top layer of tinted paint. So that means that these figures have their own sort of colorization to them without the need of having the stickers to pull all the weight of the coloring. It is a clear film over top of it, so both of them look rather distinct out of the box. And it's been a while. Like, Soto is sort of dedicated to making these very clear plastic items. The last figure that they were, I guess, considering clear plastic for was Kamen Rider Century, and they weren't able to actually put clear plastic in that mold, so they got to have a little bit of revenge here. The first, or at least one of the first figures that they actually did this on was Kamen Rider Cross... Oh no. It's like the Splash version, you know it. The, this one, right next to it. This was their first attempt at doing clear plastic. It was super, at least I thought it was very good, especially for the time. But they did mention that they made upgrades to how this clear plastic stuff was presented. So if you notice, there are sort of like these gaps in the head and in the chest where the pegs are. This time, Revi and Vice, they don't have those gaps. They don't have those very intrusive pegs that sort of, I don't know, scream out at you. And this is made possible because of the smart way they decided to divide it up. They put the pegs in the parts that needed to be painted over. This is a look at the chest and how that's all oriented. Here's a look at the head. There's that crest in that center. Now, it's all supposed to be one continuous piece on the forehead, but they decided to break it up and hide the peg back there. So now you get, oh, I guess they didn't show an after image. So now you get, like, the full seamless look without any of the, the peg holes showing through. And I think that's amazing. That's so good that they did that. So yeah, here they are again. Very good stuff. Next up, let's talk about molding color, because this actually went through quite a few iterations. Now, if you're seeing this, you might be thinking, oh, that looks nothing like the show suit. And you would be right, because this is their first pass at it, and it didn't. They knew this did not look quite right. They're also basing all of this stuff at this point off of reference images that they get from, you know, like pre-production images. They don't actually have a suit made yet. This is just concept art that they're going off of. So this is what that comes from, but they knew it still wasn't right. This reminds me of, I believe, Kamen Rider Vulcan's final form with all the animals on him. It reminds me of that blue, but that was not quite right. They went at it again. They got these 3 samples out. Once again, they didn't think that was right either, and they went in for a second try, and they were told at that point that neither of any of these options, neither of the 3 options, were correct either. So they went at it again. This time, D-Man was like, hey, why don't you try this blue? And, you know, do excuse them for having a bunch of pieces missing on this one, because it turns out D-Man keeps this at his side. D-Man runs all of Shodo Chronicle. He keeps this at his side for reference if he ever wants color samples of this specific color. He sends out one of those pieces to them. So yeah, this one is a bit in shambles, but it has a lot of character. So he sent this over to G-Man, and he was like, hey, what about this? And at the same time, G-Man got a little mailer in the bag, or in the mail, with this guy, and this was from Mr. Suda of Mega House asking, how about this? And Mr. Suda from Mega House, like, Mega House has been the factory that they've been working with the entire time since X-Age, so a lot of the history has flown through that factory, thus giving them a lot of, you know, a lot of tenure and a lot of experience to draw from. So they decided, instead of choosing between those two, they would merge them, and now we have this, which I think looks very good and shows that, hey, we have quite a lot of Shodo history sort of wrapped up into one figure, and that's just the stuff I kind of like. So here is the full lineage of how this all sort of shook out. I think this is such a cool shot. Like, you know, I don't know. It's just a cool story that doesn't get imparted when you just buy the toy. This is something that only comes from the blog, and I absolutely love it. Anyway, that's it about the colors. Let's now move back into the figure. Here's a shot of the arms. It does look a little sticker heavy, but there are a lot of really good details here. Something I also wanted to mention, if you take a look at the hand, stickers don't look too good. I rag on this all the time, but they did actually mention it here in the blog. They did say that, hey, if you notice any frayed stickers or anything like that, do keep in mind, these are pre-production. The stickers we put on here, it's not made to look good. It's just made to, like, test how it would look on the figure and, like, bounce it. You know, it's made for testing. It's not supposed to be, like, 100% solid. It's not supposed to be 100% good on this. So, it's fine. I may rag on it later, in later videos down the line, but just keep in mind, it's not, you know, it's not conducive of the final product. So I will be giving it a lot more leeway coming up after this. But I did want to mention that the stickers on the back of the hands for the open hands, and I think the closed fists, those stickers run all the way down the fingers, all the way to the midpoint, because I think that's a bit more accurate to what it's supposed to look like. And also, they have those claws there, so that's really cool. Next up is the belt. They did want to mention that they actually did have the 2 different versions of the gimmick items, so they are unique. Here are the legs. The legs look really good. This actually did get a lot of paint. You have some sticker support, but that blue and like the pink on the lower leg and like closer toward the crotch, a lot of that is painted. It was sort of larger areas, so they were able to do a lot of it at once. It looks really good. I really appreciate it. Here's a look at the back. They've been talking about this a lot, how they wanted to make sure Shodo looks good from every angle, and they managed to get the stickers and all that detail to wrap around to the back. Love it. And while we're here at the back, here's the tail. And you'll notice that, hey, the tail's done in sticker detail. That's because it's actually made of clear plastic. So, you know, toys are manufactured using molds, and molds, they have a certain capacity, and if they are dedicating, you know, a mold to clear plastic, they want to make use of the mold, so they'll just mold whatever they can in that color, whatever they choose. In this instance, it's clear, so they sort of needed to cover that up with stickers. It is very movable. It does have a lot of articulation, moves smoothly just because of, you know, I believe this is PVC. They didn't quite say that here, but something tells me it is. If it isn't, that's going to be pretty wild, because I don't know that we've had hard plastic clear before, but I'm pretty sure we've had clear plastic PVC before. But that's not all that's actually in clear plastic. A lot of Juga got done in clear plastic, to the point where we have the front of the head, the chest, the belt, the shoulder pads, and both open hands. Those are actually going to be done in black paint. So those are all painted over in this image. And actually, with these 2 here, we now have all 3 of the figures that are coming out in the wave that comes after Revice. We only have these 3 figures so far. We don't quite know what else is going on. But then also they wanted to show the lineup of the most current forms that Shodo has released so far, and it has every character you can imagine. It looks really good. Well, I guess outside of Juga, I guess these guys are meant to be all the good guys, question mark. I don't watch the show, sorry. But this is everything so far, and really only Shodo is the only one capable of this right at this moment. I know we're missing stuff for Genu. I know we're missing like just various things here and there, but this is a very awesome lineup and very comprehensive for what it is. Anyways, that's it for these guys, but Shodo did leave us with a bit of a tease. So we know that Ultimate Revi, Ultimate Vice, and Juga are going to be coming in the set after Revice, which means that they're going to be coming in Geats. Next week, since we are starting off Kamen Rider Geats... Oh, that's not the right image. I also wanted to mention that the campaign for this guy is starting up again. If you don't know, it's a Japanese-only campaign. That's why I don't cover it too often. But you send in your barcodes that you get from Shodo boxes. You send in a certain amount, you mail them in, and you have a chance to get this figure. It really sucks. We all here in the States, or anywhere outside of Japan, really, not just in the United States, anywhere outside of Japan, we have to just get this on the aftermarket from a third-party seller. Really sucks. There's no way for us to get it otherwise. But yeah, definitely keep your eyes on that. Hopefully a lot more of these are circulating. Anyway, like I was saying, we have 3 figures in a wave that we don't know exists yet, technically. But, again, with this... But they did give us a silhouette of what's to come next week, what they are revealing next week, and that is going to be Shodo Geats. And this so far looks pretty amazing. I wanted to do a bit of a comparison between that and this figure. Now, if you look at the legs, what I was saying about this figure is that I don't want this transformation gimmick to trickle into Shodo. I don't need them to have this figure transform. And from the looks of the legs and how they're constructed, it obviously looks like the same ball joint we've been getting for years. So, you know, with the stem coming out of the ankle. So I don't think we're going to be getting anything like this, hopefully. Because the proportions are just a tiny bit wonky. And Shodo always tends to favor a more, you know, accurate approach rather than gimmick focus. They do focus on gimmicks when they can, but they always prioritize the look of the actual figure. And I think that's represented here. And it looks so good so far, I guess, because it's just a silhouette. You do have the scarf running down the back, which is something I didn't even notice here on this figure. So that's very cool. I am curious to see how far they go in this first wave. How many figures are going to be in this first wave, if they're going to keep up with the same amount of boxes, like the extended amount of boxes they've had the entirety of Kamen Rider Revice. So yeah, we'll definitely see. I'm so excited to see what they have in store for this. We know that there's clear plastic in this wave so far. So it will be interesting to see what we're going to be getting out of this guy clear plastic-wise. Something that I'm going to flip through my slides a little bit because I did want to mention something that I didn't show off earlier. But the eyes underneath, they're always talking about how the eyes are, of the stickers, have this, that sort of pattern effect underneath. But here, they actually molded it in. I don't think we get the molded in eye pattern too often, the compound eye effect as they call it. I don't know that we get that too often. I'm wondering if they'll actually mold it underneath, like that'll be one of the big changes come Kamen Rider Geats coming into the next year. I have no idea. That would be a really neat thing for them to do, and then just paint over that or put clear plastic over that. I have no idea. And that leads me to my question of the week. If you guys want to answer this, what are the big changes you think they're going to make in Kamen Rider Geats for Shodo? Genuinely, I think it'd be cool to see some ball jointed action in the torso. I think it'd be cool to see a painted compound eye effect. I feel like you know, stickers can only go so far. If they wanted to do a true compound eye effect with paint, I think that's definitely possible. There were a few other changes that I think Shodo could definitely make, but I do want to hear from you what you guys are thinking in the comment section down below. Anyways, that's it for me. I did also, before we go, want to make a special shout out to Super Blast X. I went to PMC this weekend. It was so amazing, and he came by, stopped me, and said hello. It was very awesome. It was cool to see you. Thank you for flagging me down. It was great. It was so good. And obviously, co-host here on the show, Josh, had an incredible time. If you don't know what's going on, you should definitely go to his Twitter, because he's had like the weekend of his life. Definitely check that out. Oh, and my friend Chris Long actually got to transform into Kamen Rider Geats live on stage. That was wild. So definitely check out all the PMC stuff, because like I don't know, it was such a good time. It was really cool seeing my friends. Yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I did not have my key here, so I can't make the sound. But guys, I hope you keep it juicy.